Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sunday. It is the last Heir airing right now. We cannot wait to get started for you. And as you can see, we actually have some more players joining us tonight. However, Gnome is feeling a little bit under the weather, so hopefully he'll be feeling better soon. Get well, buddy. And for now, what we're going to do is we are going to go around, have everyone introduce themselves, tell us where they can find them, and who they are playing for this evening. So first, we're going to start with Mike. Actually, no, that way. You're up, buddy.
Yeah. My name is Michael. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram as Michael Crits. So it works on both of those platforms. And today I will be playing Gervain, our human Cariv Wanderer fighter, and he's a ghost knight. So.
There we go. And next but not least, well, no, just next, because we're not there yet. I'm in such a punchy mood. Forgive me. All right. So next we have Torn Pixie. Oh, it's going to be a fun one tonight, folks.
It is. Hi, I'm Torn Pixie. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Torn Pixie Twitch, and I'm going to be playing AOL Galith, who is our Shadow Fae Warlock.
Lovely. And then we're going to jump down to Jim.
All right, there's the unmute button. Hey, everybody, how's it going? I am Jim of WebDM, and I'm glad to be returning to Slane, our forest walker and fairy friend, although I believe right now he's in the throes of a sleep apnea attack. So, yeah, that's, there we go.
That's the way to put it. And then next we have the lovely Kai.
Hi, I'm Stonefly_Kai on Twitch and Twitter, and I am playing Zira, the Sword Fighter Dancer. Sword Dancer Fighter. It's been a couple weeks, okay?
It's totally... We're good. We're getting the concept across. Sword, dancing, fighting. Hey, it's a thing. And then we have...
Just she dances, okay?
Just, it's things, it's words. They're coming together. We'll get there. All right, Jesse, you're up.
I'm going to be playing Maurice, the gear-forged polytheist priest. Or is it polytheist or pantheist? Now I'm confused. I think it's pantheist.
Pantheist.
Wow, how am I blanking on that?
Which is polytheist.
Yeah, it is pantheist. Yeah. That's right. That's about it. My background is suspicious, and that is all.
Extremely stubborn and suspicious. That's Maurice.
Correct.
All right, so correct. Now, last week we had just a few players with us, so we sort of did this backstory exploration as well as a little bit of in time with the campaign. So I'm not sure if Jim or Jesse, either of you want to try and recap what we explored for your 2 HP, temporary HP for this episode, or I can quickly run through it and give myself advantage on it. Okay, there you go.
Yeah. So, all right. So, when we were, I guess just last time we were doing this thing. So, I was on a walkabout, Slane was, and he's got lost on purpose, and then found a little green light that was talking to him for a while, and he followed it. And lo and behold, he met what's her name from the inn, the one that was flirty, I guess, but it wasn't her, it was my grandma. And I talked to my grandma for a while, and she gave me a birthday present and gave me a list of errands to run. And then I wandered around for a while. I made a new friend, Noname is his name. I don't know if it's a boy or girl. And we got back to the tree village. They said something about people who love trees so much that they stand like trees. They're not actual tree people. They just really like them, which I understand. Trees are magnificent creations of Midgard. So, I understand that. They stand around all the time. And the kids, I guess, have a problem. I wasn't there for it. Somebody explained it to me, but I was really tired. And then me and Shreg hung out for a while, and then we went to bed. And I thought I heard somebody screaming, but I just went back to sleep.
I mean, yeah, that's the gist of it. Slane had a very interesting walkabout and everything like that. On top of it, we had the explorations of the backstories both for Maurice as well as for Shreg, and some interesting little details were revealed as well. But as Slane said, as far as he knows, he was kind of having these weird dreams, and suddenly there was this shouting that was occurring. And the shouting is coming from Mama Rihanna, and she's running out to Maurice, and we're going to pick up right from that point. So Maurice, Mama Rihanna has come running out, and she is extremely anxious and distraught. She has called you back into the tent where Rioric has been recuperating, although not healing up as she had hoped. And as you walk into this tent, you see hovering above him this gray shadowy form with these glowing eyes that seems to be hovering and almost trying to embrace Rioric, even though it's hovering about 4 feet above it. But as the two of you walk in, it turns its attention towards you, and you see these bright glowing red eyes focusing directly on you. And Mama Rihanna is standing there almost shocked and shaking at this point. What would you like to do?
Maurice would instantly throw wonderfully out in front of Mama Rihanna and kind of herd her behind him to a certain extent.
Okay.
And he sticks out forward, and his gears start to whir, and he's immediately going to fire a Sacred Flame at this thing.
Okay, great. So let's see if you hit it. And let's see what happens.
So the smoke monster must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or take 1d8 radiant.
Okay, so dex save. Let's get the lovely, handy, dandy dice roller going. Okay, and it's got a 10. A beautiful 10. So it does not succeed on that dexterity save.
Not good enough.
And you said it's taking radiant. What does it look like as this radiant energy starts zooming from you over to... Oh, did we lose you again?
That looks decent. That's going to be 7 radiant energy that's just going to shoot out of my palm and blast into this thing.
Okay, so this radiant energy, it zooms out and it basically lands nice and square in the center. And you see it sort of recoil a little bit. It's not thrilled that it's been hit by this, but it still looks like it's pretty well intact. And if it could hiss, it'd probably be hissing at you. You just sort of see it sort of hulk into itself, and the mist collects further and further and bulks up towards the upper portion of the body. So it's almost like this wispy tail at the bottom. You don't really get a sense of legs any further. And it shifts its attention from being over Rioric to starting to move towards you and Mama Rihanna. So it's moving towards you. It's not in its full motion quite yet, but you can tell that you've gotten its attention.
Good, good. I'll kind of try to like back up, hopefully leading Mama Rihanna towards the exit while keeping the hand ready to fire off another one whenever cooldown appropriate would make sense. Asking, what's up with the crazy? I'm familiar.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that one more time? Because that got a little chopped up on my end.
What sort of creature is this? I'm not familiar.
I'm not sure. I may have dozed off a little bit, and all of a sudden there's things over Rioric. But let's get it away from him and get
is not
outside.
friendly.
Considering that it's not quite happy, no.
Keep out in the street. Yeah.
Okay, so you're falling back.
Try to
out
get
of
to the
tent,
street, and as soon as I'm at
hoping
the street, just start shouting for people to come and help or assist or something.
Okay, all right. So as you're pulling Mama out of the hut and you're sort of acting as a shield for her, is the sense I'm getting? Yes. This thing, it's starting to trail after you because you've basically hit it. So it's not happy with you. So it isn't hovering over Rioric anymore. You can tell she's a little relieved about that, but then you're both realizing that it is coming up upon the two of you as you're working your way out into sort of the common area of the village itself. And basically what happens is you can start shouting and seeing if you can start rousing the others to come to your assistance. It's not moving quickly, but it's definitely locked onto the two of you and sort of stalking you like a cat would a mouse.
Yeah, I would immediately just yell out for everybody. Slane, Yolagath, Jervain, Zira, where are you?
All right, so everyone at this point, you are all in this deep slumber. You're actually having very realistic, fitful dreams. Dreams that almost seem like they're memories that you recall, but there's also some other dreams coming in to play where you don't know if it was real or not. But you're in a deep sleep, but in this deep sleep, you sort of start hearing like this kerfuffle, and slowly you start realizing it's not part of your dream. What I'd like each of you to do is to give me a perception check, and let's see who's getting drawn from their sleep as Maurice is shouting out your names. Slain hears smell with a 25. Kai and Mike. Okay, so I have Jermaine and Zero with 10s. Aol, you have a 7. So let's see here. So Slain, you're in this dream, but right away you hear clear as a bell Maurice shouting for help and assistance, and you know this is not part of your dream. For Zira and Jervain, you hear in the distance your names being called, and you realize that the voice is not one that should be in the dream itself. So you start to stir a little bit. Aowil, you are in a blissful slumber. You're rather enjoying this part of the dream. You're at school learning some new things. You're taking down some notes, and you're being quite studious about it, and you're quite fascinated with this new ingredient that's just been introduced to you. But as far as you know, this is a wonderful dream. You don't want to wake up. So, Slain, what would you like to do having been roused from your slumber?
Oh, well, so he's going to come out of his guest hut or wherever they've been staying, and if he sees Maurice like in combat, in danger or anything, well, is there anyone between him and Maurice who he could help get up, like wake up?
You see that Shrek is sound asleep. Noname's popped up as well. Definitely, aware that something's going on. Very much connected to you. It seems your wake up has been its wake up. But as you go out, you do see Maurice standing in the common area. Mariana standing behind him, kind of clutching onto a back piece of his form. And you see them both looking in the direction of where Riorik is sleeping, but you don't see anyone else up and stirring quite yet.
Okay, so he's gonna like, oh, it's a weird dream. All right, Noname, would you do me a favor? And it sounds like there's a commotion and something's going on outside. We go make sure everybody's up, nobody's missing or anything. Just whenever you have the time. I don't want to, I can't tell you. He's just going to stammer. He doesn't know how this works. Are they sticking around because they like him? Is this the pet? He's just, could you help us out? And he's going to go and walk towards where Maurice is.
Okay, so you'll hear in your head that voice you were hearing last time, I'll assist. And Noname goes zipping out towards the other huts where your companions have been.
Oh, yeah, thank you. He shouts. And he's going to... If Maurice is armed, if Maurice is, in any way has a weapon or magic at hand, then Slain will draw his dagger in his left hand.
Okay, so Maurice, you see that Slain has come to your call.
Perfect. Maurice would still have a visible glow gone from the heat of his internal mechanisms when he does the magic, so he's much at the ready, kind of probably lighting up the street to a certain extent, I guess. And seeing Slain, he would kind of do that thing where he just rotates his head all the way around over to look over his shoulder. Of course, he still looks very regal right now. He's got the crown and the cape and all that fun stuff. He's like, "Comrade, quick, come down into battle. I do not know what this is, but I need your assistance." And then, whenever ready again, sacred flaming away.
Okay. So, you're going to try and do another sacred flame on this creature?
Please,
Maurice?
and thank you.
Please and thank you. All right, so then that means let me get my... There you go. This thing keeps hiding on me. So we are going to, theoretically, Let's see if that gets us what we need here with a 14, you said it was?
That's right. So
Did it not
15.
roll? There you
is
go,
in the
15.
clear, or it.
So got a 15.
Or,
Okay,
Yep.
so as you shoot this next round of another bit of radiant damage, it goes just past skimming it and not making contact. You see it sort of follow it as it zooms by, and the swirling mist kind of goes in the direction of the turning of the head, and then you see the head just slowly manipulate itself back and the eyes glow even brighter red, and you can almost swear that this parting of a very menacing grin starts to spread in what would be the lower jaw area of this misty creature, and it is looking at you and it's starting to move forward. Now at this point we're going to have Noname has zipped into Zira's and Aowel's hut, and the two of you, if you could please give me another perception check with advantage this time, because you do have Noname trying to rouse the two of you. Okay, so Zira, you've gone back into REM mode. you're in these great dreams. You're not coming back out of it. The name must have just been some sort of fluke. However, AOL, you realize that, wait a minute, this is not the voice of a fellow student. This is not the voice of the professor or anything like that. And your eyes snap open and you see this glowing green, misty orb sort of floating about 4 feet in front of you and like darting about frantically, trying to get your attention. But it's not making any noises.
I look around me, and I'm assuming I would see Zira there.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna try and wake Zira.
Okay, so why don't you go over and let's do the persuasion. See if you can convince her to wake up.
All right.
Persuade her
this.
to wake up. Hey, okay. So with this little dancing green misty orb darting around now, it's sort of like almost like it's pinging off the walls, seeing that it got you up, it's excited, and it's agitated, and it's trying to help you as well by darting around and sort of creating these flashing lights over Zira's face, and the two of you working together, and you're just, Zira to wake her up. Zira, you find yourself awake as well, staring up at AOL and this darting green misty orb.
This better be good.
I'm guessing so. I mean, generally floating orb things waking people up. It's either good or it's really bad, right?
Floating orb, floating orb.
And Zira, you'll see this little orb kind of like
green.
pinging between the two of you at this point. Almost like it's making physical contact, like banging on you and then banging off of AOL as well. Like back and forth like this frantically.
Where'd that come from? Is that yours?
I don't know. It's not mine, but it hasn't hurt me, so I think it's probably trying to tell us something, and it doesn't seem to mean us harm, but might want to find out what's going on. I don't know if it talks. Orb thingy, do you talk?
It sort of slumps down when you ask it this question. So it understands you, but it's not replying back.
Okay, so I'm guessing that's a no if this is body language from an orb. This is fun.
And it's not hurting us. Do we follow you, orb?
It jumps up and it's like bobbing up and down frantically and also heading towards the door. Almost like a bouncing ball.
Remind you of
danger?
Like a
Do I need my sword? A puppy, yeah. Pet it.
I want to touch it.
Oh, dear God.
Very much.
I'm gonna grab my swords and follow it.
Okay. So Zira, you get up, you grab your swords, you're following this bouncing green orb out the hut. AOL, are you following as well?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So as the two of you emerge out of the hut, you see in front of you in the common area, you'll see the figure of who you think. It looks like, because it's a backlit view, it looks like you have Mama Mariana, Maurice, and Slain standing out near the hut where you know Riorik is recuperating. However, you can see that they're sort of standing on ready and at the guard, facing in one direction.
Okay.
Does this orb belong to one of you guys?
Yeah, that's Noname.
It's what?
Get
It sounds like a soup.
Something else. It's just it's my it's a nickname.
Oh.
There's something over here.
Why is it waking me up?
There's I don't know, something's wrong in the hut with Rurik. Maybe he's in danger. I don't know. Haven't seen it yet. Right? Like it hasn't come out of the hut, right?
It's emerging, so you're close enough where you can see it, but where they're standing there, all they're going to see is sort of like this darkness in the hut. They're not going to realize that the darkness is this creature.
Attack the darkness.
So they're...
Yeah, there's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a monster over there. Something attacking Rurik.
So you hear Slain explain that there's something that's inside the hut that's on the attack, but what would the two of you like to do? You're about 25 feet away from where they're standing in the center of the
I'll
village
just
area.
go to where they are.
Okay, so you move forward, and AOL, are you going to also go with them? And you're going to notice that Noname has actually zipped away. It's no longer hanging out with you. It's actually zipped into the hut where Gervain is still asleep.
I think
So
I'm
as the
going
two
to
of you
follow
get-
Orb. Orb seems to know.
Okay, so Zira, you're going to go up to join them, and AOL is following Noname. And so we'll have it where AOL, you follow Noname into the hut, and you see Gervain is in a deep sleep as well. He's not rousing quite yet.
Okay. I'm noticing a pattern of deep sleep here. Is Nonami doing the same thing that they were earlier?
Yep, they're flickering around his face, trying to like do these really bright flashing lights to see if that might rouse him. Sort of pinging around frantically, but can only do so much.
Okay. I'm going to attempt to wake up Gervain as well then.
Okay, so let's do another.
That'd
We'll start with
that gonna be
persuasion. Let's see if we
Normal,
can nudge him
correct?
awake. Yeah. There you go. So, all right, then what I want you to do, Gervain, is please give me a perception. See who rolls better.
All right. Perception. Oof.
No?
All right,
Okay.
so you're able to start waking him up, and he's still a little groggy, but you're starting to manage to get him to come out of his dream at least.
Okay.
What's going on?
What seems like unnatural sleep and scary monsters.
Okay. Is everyone okay?
They seem to be. I can't account for everyone. So far, everyone that I've actually seen with my eyes seems to be okay.
Okay. Just give me a second. I'll
But,
get up and
little-
follow on.
I was gonna say, little Orb Buddy here is pretty freaked out, and I think we should listen to little Orb Buddy since I guess
Oh,
Slain
damn.
knows little Orb
How long
Buddy.
has that been in here for?
I just zipped in, I followed.
Okay. All right. Let's Let's go meet up with everyone else. And I'll get my stuff and start heading out towards to meet everyone else. I think you're muted, maybe, Fee? Or is the audio...
There we go. Okay. No, it's lag. All right, so you have... you gather your things, you go back out, and you see the rest of your companions in the center area of the common area of the village, and they're all facing towards the hut where you know Rioric has been recuperating, and you notice that Maurice has his hand pulled up at the ready. Mama Rihanna is actually standing behind him, looking around. She looks like she's trying to get something prepared as well. Slane is also kind of focusing, and this green misty orb shoots past you and goes right towards Slane and sort of rests on his shoulder. And Zira is sort of in between everyone, sort of with her swords drawn and ready to go.
I'll go shoulder to
as soon
shoulder
as
with
Maurice
Zira.
notices that... Oh, sorry.
Yep, that was it. Just shoulder to shoulder with Zira. You can continue.
Okay. So you head up towards Zira.
As soon as Maurice sees that
start...
everybody's here, you just yell, "It's the fog. I don't know what it is, but it seems to be alive. It has teeth on the face. It needs to die."
Hearing this declaration from your metal man, what would you all like to do?
Slane's been
I'm going to step up in front.
And get a better look at him.
Can you repeat that one? You're going to take action? All right, so if you're all going to start working on getting into attack mode, let's roll for initiative.
Yeah.
One of these days, I'm going to remember the dang turn tracker thing, and that
It's
it likes
okay,
us to
don't worry
click on
about it.
things first.
I missed
okay.
the
I
turn
don't-
tracker as
honestly,
well. Sorry. Okay.
It's totally good. Maurice is a 13. Let's see here. And you will Slane Gervain. And then I need to roll as well. Except not with that. No, just okay. And then thing is, oh, you guys lucked out. The misty figure is going to be going last. However, we have Zira. You're starting us up. Afterwards, we have Aowell, and then moving along towards Slane. Then we have Maurice and Gervain. Let's get some dexterities in here. What's your dex modifier?
I'm fairly sure Gervain's going to take that one. Mine is only 11.
Mine is going to be 2. So 14. Yeah.
Okay, so all right. So then we're going to have Gervain, Maurice, and the baddie at the end. So at the top we have Zira. You have the ability now to, since you've moved up, you see that there is this misty gray, smoky creature sort of swirling in the open doorway area. And then again, these glowing red eyes are facing out towards all of you. What would you like to do?
I guess there's no better reason to get up than a fight, and I'm going to twirl my sword around my hand and run up to it and swing at it.
Okay.
16?
Okay, so a 16 absolutely hits. So
A 16.
let's see what happens. A 16, I like the 16.
3.
3 piercing. Okay, so as you swing the sword, is it your nicer one or just the usual one? What does it look like as you
The
which one are you
usual
using
one.
as you're swinging it? The usual one.
The
So as you take your
older-
usual one, okay, so you swing, and as you swing, you notice that it cuts into this form, but it's almost as if you were cutting through steam. You feel a little bit of something as you're cutting through it. However, it doesn't seem to take the full damage as you expect it to. It's sort of like you see it has done a little bit, but it's almost like the mist is just sort of recollected in on itself. And it just sort of looks down at you, and again, you see this creepy sort of misty grin forming at where the mouth would be underneath the eyes as it looks down upon you menacingly. Is there anything else you would like to do for your turn?
Nope, that is all.
That is all. All right, so now we're going to move on to Aowell. You see that Zira has moved forward to make her attack. What would you like to do in suit?
I think I'm gonna do my Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
Am I muted? Okay, I'm not muted.
Nope, you're good. Okay, so so a 10 is going to miss. So
Yep.
your Eldritch Blast
Okay.
gathers, and it sort of shoots again, sort of like what happened before, but you weren't there to see it. It shoots past, and again, this creature, it follows the direction of your spell, and you can see it's almost taking glee in the fact that it's not making contact with you, and the smoke starts billowing and gathering itself again. And that is your turn, unless there's anything else you'd like to do, or can do.
Nothing I'd like to do right now.
Like and want are very different things. Okay, then we move on to Slain. It is your turn.
All right, so dagger in one hand and a claw in the other, his own, not someone else's. He rushes up and joins Zira in battle, and is going to make his attack. That's probably not going to get it. In fact, that first one was a fumble.
Yeah,
all right.
so the claw goes wild. I think you're almost too excited to start using your claws and show what you can do with them, so it doesn't make contact. What about your dagger?
All right, he's going to trip the dagger. 15 for the dagger. Hopefully that's
Okay,
better.
the dagger will make contact.
All right. 6 damage.
All right.
Non-magical, not silver, just plain steel.
It's just a dagger, folks.
So with this just dagger, you'll see, again, it's going to cut into this form, but it's not doing as much as you had hoped. Again, it's sort of, you see the slit form, but then the mist sort of knits itself back together. It might be a little bit more jagged towards the bottom, but it's not doing what you had hoped in your eager attack.
He growls.
Anything
at
else,
it.
sir? You growl. Okay, so we have Slain as
Make sure Noname's not going to in any danger or anything. Just stay behind me.
Okay, so Noname is, hovering in the back, sort of providing extra light for you so you can see things more, but not taking any actions as of yet. And then we're going to go to Gervain.
All right, I'm gonna step as close as I can to the smoke monster, and I'm gonna raise my shield, get my. I believe right now what I have in my hand is a. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, yeah, got a hand axe. So I'm gonna get my hand axe. I'm going to try and attack it once with my hand axe.
Okay, so at this point we sort of have like a half circle of the three of you in front of this creature at the doorway, just so you have a visual reference of what's going on. With
Okay.
Zira in the center, Slain on one
12.
side, and Gervain on the other. A 12 will miss. So you go to swing, and probably because now it's starting to get a little crowded, it's not come out completely. You haven't gone in completely, so you have the sides of the door working against you. So you go to swing, and it almost seems to cramp your ability to get the swing that you're hoping to get, and it goes past this creature, who again is focusing more on you now and leaning almost in your direction with this grin getting bigger and bigger. It's almost like a Cheshire cat-like grin that's expanding across its face, and the face itself is kind of growing as the mist mutates and forms. And now we're going to go to Maurice. You are standing slightly back with Mama Rayana behind you. You know that you have done some damage before. Are you going to stick with the tried and true or try something new? Are you muted?
Talking away into the mute button. Here we go. Yeah, I was, yes.
Okay,
Okay, so seeing that my allies are having a little bit of a difficult time connecting with this thing, rather than shooting another sacred flame at it, Maurice is he's gonna keep the whirring going for his eternal mechanisms, make the heat and the light and whatever have you. But this time he's actually gonna bring his fist together and then pump it straight up in the air, and then a bolt is going to arc up into the sky and then presumably like crackle and light up a cloud. And they're going to try to make a spell attack on it and see if anything happens.
Ooh, I'm interested to see what you're planning.
We shall see, we shall see. Now I macroed this, so if this doesn't work, I friggin' apologize. But it looks like
Okay.
So that'd be a 16 to hit.
16 will hit. So what type of damage is Guiding Bolt? That's lightning, right?
That is actually more a radiant damage. So
it's more radiant.
The
Okay.
cloud above is going to kind of
Excellent.
like build up with that light energy, and then a beam of 20 radiant damage will fire straight down at it.
Well, how do you do? So the sky lights up and you hear this crackling sound as this lightning-like beam shoots down and hits true in the center of this creature. And you see the center of this creature almost glow the same color as your radiant damage, Maurice. And the mist is having difficulty sort of absorbing back in where this damage has occurred. So you've definitely hit it. It is extremely not happy now with you. And it is going to turn to your three companions and almost open its mouth in this silent scream you can't hear. And its two hands are going to reach out. And it is going to go for, let's see, who is he going to reach towards? He's going to reach towards Gervain on this one. And he is going to attempt to reach out and touch you on this one. So let's see how we do here. Does a 26 hit?
It sure does.
That means I just rolled a 19. Sorry about that.
I just DM things.
Just DM things. You know, hey, Roll20 is actually playing nice for me tonight. Go figure. All right, so you are going to be taking 11 points of psychic damage. So as this thing touches you, Gervain, you almost swear you hear the voice of this taunting female voice that you have heard before, and she's mocking you. And she's saying, you're just not going to do it. You're never going to be good enough at this, and you know it. Get out of my way. And you're shaking it off. You're trying to get this voice out of your head. And as you do this, you see this hand pull back, and this creature will then sort of shift itself up and out of the doorway. It will give an attack of opportunity because of its motion and moving, but it is moving out of the hut and away from the hut area, trying to get to the rest of you. So that means we have Gervain, Slain, and Zira. You do get this chance. So Gervain, you try to go, but because of this voice that you still kind of hear the echoing of, it's not so much it's still there, but it's haunting you at this point. It moves away. Slain, you will manage to connect with your claw. Zira, unfortunately for you, it's moved too quick up and out of the way. So really, the only damage we're getting right now in this attack of opportunity is Slain. Let's see what happens with damage on the claw. The claw is a 6.
That's the claw.
Okay. So again,
Right.
it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not that you're not able to get full damage as you'd hope, but it's sort of like ripped off the tail end of its form. You sort of see it like to evaporate into the air, and this creature has now hulked itself up, and it's sort of standing in the middle of all of you, so that Slain, Gervain, and Zara would need to turn. Maurice and Aol, you would see it standing in front of you. You wouldn't need to turn around. And that brings us to the top again with Zira. What would you like to do for your turn?
Can I try to move around it since it moved out a little bit so that I'm on the other side of it, and then I'll take another short sword swing at it?
You can move to get around it. You basically have it where it's sort of like you have two half circles here. So you're in the one half circle and the others are there, and it'd be dead center right now. So it's up to you if you feel like you need to move or if you want to take that position. Essentially, you've all just been given advantage inadvertently.
I'll stay.
You stay. Okay.
And then
You can move up to
short sword 15.
15. All right, so a 15 will hit. Let's see what the damage is when you go to hit it.
6.
Okay, 6. All right, so again, it cuts through. It doesn't quite fully seem to separate any bits of this mist from it, Little bits sort of are left jagged, but it's not knitting together completely. So it did take a little bit of damage, just not the full extent. However, as you go and you take this swing, suddenly this misty form is no longer this misty form to you. You see this tall, hulking figure of a man who's looking down at you with a sardonic grin. And he gives you this raised eyebrow, and you can almost hear in your head, did you really think you'd be able to get out of this one? Did you think you could hide from what you've done? And right now, all you see is this very familiar figure from your past.
What are you doing here? How are you here?
It just starts laughing at you. Now, for the rest of you, you see Zira starting to talk to the mist. There's no response or anything like that on its end. But that's what is going on with... You don't see the change. It has stayed in this misty form. You see her trying to speak with it, but there's no response or anything like that on its end, though she seems to have heard something from it. Is there anything else you'd like to do, Zira, or is that it for you in terms of actions you want to take or bonus actions? That's all. Okay, so then let's take it to AOL. Ooh, go ahead.
Seeing who I'm assuming I'm seeing, I'm going to take a couple steps back.
Okay. All right, so you're going to take a couple steps back. Surprisingly, it doesn't take its attack of opportunity, but you feel the pressure of this laughter almost increasing in your head a little bit, mocking you and just making you feel how you did back then because of who you feel this is. So then, Aowil, you are up as you notice Zira sort of retreating slightly with a couple staggering steps of probably shock as she moves back.
Have I been able to see any sort of pattern with what kind of attacks seem to hit?
Why don't you give me a quick little perception check on that, if you've noticed anything unique. With a 12, you noticed at least that it seems that blades don't do much to it. It seems spells do. But you couldn't pinpoint exactly what type of spells or things like that. You just know that sharp objects don't seem to be doing the exact trick.
Okay, I'm gonna attempt my Eldritch Blast again.
Okay. All right. The funny thing is when it works for you, my God, it works for you. This is So, once again, your Eldritch Blast, it collects, it shoots forth, and there's that, dark, lighted magic coming from you, but it goes wide again, probably because you're a little bit more focused on Zira's reaction as opposed to actually hitting the target, so you got a little sidetracked there. But it goes by, and unlike last time, it doesn't seem to be as distracted. It's more locked onto the rest of you, especially looking down at Zira standing in front of it. Is there anything else you can or would like to do?
Is Zira wearing armor? Am I able to do that this turn after doing that? Hold on. I don't think I can. Yeah, no, that's an action. I can't do that this turn.
Okay. All right, so something to consider.
Yep.
Slain, we're back to you then, sir.
Wow, so we're just sort of chipping away at it, yeah. He doesn't have anything to boost his attack at the moment. So, yeah, he does. He's going to call one more time upon the name of the West Wind, using his last spell for the day, and ensuring he's not going to get a good night's sleep, and will make his attack. And I'm going to use the feature, let's see, where I can get advantage on an attack, and then if I hit, I deal an extra D8 damage.
All right, cool. Is it any particular damage?
Oh, here we go.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah,
Nice.
I will take that. All right, and then for my follow-up.
So,
that's all right. I'll take.
Okay, so will the claw still get the extra D8 or that, or is it just the first attack that gets it for this?
It's just a one time. It's just a one time. The D8's
Okay.
a one-time
All right.
thing.
So great. So with the dagger, the way I do crit damage is you get the full round of damage on the first die, and then reroll for the second amount.
All right, so the full would be 8 plus, let's see, here we go, 9 of that one, and then my, the 2d8 with it. That's nice, so it's 14 total.
14
you
total.
won.
Okay. Oh shoot. Okay. So,
And is it, it's trying to make its way somewhere? Yeah, it's trying to, like, work its way around us?
it's trying to work its way. You're not quite sure where yet, but it's come out of the hut at least, and it's not that it's moving to attack you, but it is focused on Zira at this point. It hasn't moved any further. So now as you make this attack, you do notice that this time at least it seems to have done a little bit more damage, and it's starting to look a little bit more tattered, and it almost seems like the glowing of these red eyes. Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
5 it was
the
what?
D8s are force if that matters. So 5 of that would have been force damage. I'm not sure if
That does matter.
that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. So
That will make a difference.
And
So again,
I hate you.
so you're going to see it even more. So the eyes, they start to dim a little bit, and it's getting more wispy as opposed to this thick collection of smoky black gray mist after your attack. That moves us over to Gervain.
Okay. From the vision I saw before, I'm still kind of shaking it and trying to attack it and get some sort of figure out what's going on. Why can't we attack it as much as make it hurt? And he's also just still in that memory that he just experienced. And I'm just going to yell out. I'm going to attack it again. I don't know what's working or not working. I'm going to attack it again and say, I will be good enough. And I'm going to try and just swing and hit it again.
Okay, let's see if you can knock it out of the ballpark. Okay, that absolutely will hit. Woohoo!
Sweet.
Let's see what your damage
And
is
for
gonna be on this one.
damage, 5.
Okay, so you swing and you'll see sort of like another chunk of it fall away and evaporate into the mist. It's still there, but it's looking extremely weak at this point. And that's going to bring us over to Maurice.
This thing doesn't look like it's trying to get towards Mama Rihanna at all, does it?
At this point, it looks like it's too weak to move much further than where it is.
Okay. Seeing that my allies have an easier time connecting, I don't think he would shoot another guiding bolt, but he's definitely going to want to hurt it. So I think it'd be another Sacred Flame. I think he'd kind of bring the hand back down.
Okay.
The gears are still whirring. He looks over to make sure that Mama Rihanna is still safe. Everything spins up. That light kind of charges its way through, and then out the hand again. So let's see another dex save from that thing.
Okay, another dex on my end against a 4, correct? Or 14, not 4. Yeah, against a 4th. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. The world's worst
Okay.
cleric.
So on a 7,
That'll be another 7 radiant damage.
so tell us, Maurice, how you exactly defeat this creature that has been looming and playing with the minds of your companions.
Well, I mean, seeing everybody sort of react to this thing differently and sort of step back at times and kind of start talking to themselves, Maurice is a little bit concerned that there's something going on that he's not aware of. And as it is, the fact that this is some weird ethereal monster that he doesn't know irritates him a little bit. So the more he keeps using his holy magic, the more lit up and warm he ends up being. And at this point, he's pretty much gone from an orangish to a reddish. So the beam of energy that'll shoot out of his hand is quite intense, and he's just going to, as he aims at it, he's going to Das Vidanya. Beam of light shoots out at it and impacts it kind of as close to the core as possible, and the energy would kind of swirl and fluctuate a little bit before just gentle explosion of sparkles.
I love it. So as these sparkles happen, you see this last little bit of this mist it all but evaporates it. And suddenly things are calming back down again, and you have the night sounds in the forest going on, and you almost have like this scattering, falling, sparkling effect left over from your magic. And for Zira and Gervain, this jarring feeling of seeing these people, they start to fade and ease up on you, and you don't feel this ominous, threatening presence anymore. And it's now just the nighttime.
Oh, that was weird. What happened?
Yeah, I don't know, I saw something when he attacked. I just remember some sort of person that I knew quite a long time ago, and I saw the lady's face in the smoke. Did any of you see that while we were attacking?
No ladies or anything, no.
Oh.
No.
I saw someone from my past, and I'm gonna wipe my hands off. They're sweaty and clammy from seeing someone from my past, and kind of brace myself on the doorway. I didn't see someone I don't know. I didn't see.
I saw nothing. I saw merely cloud. I see you all speak as if someone is talking to you. Everyone reacts differently. I don't understand. You say you see someone, you hear someone. What is this creature?
Yeah.
Mama Rihanna, surely you must know.
Well, now wait a minute. Come back over here to the fire first of all. You all look like you need a good rest. If not physically, at least mentally. Sit.
And she'll point to the logs that are stretched out around the bonfire area. And she stays standing while the rest of you take your seats.
Right. Now, you saw someone from your past.
And she points to you, Gervain.
Yeah.
Someone you liked or someone you could have done without?
Mostly done without.
Stick a pin in that one, dear.
And she'll turn to Zira.
You saw someone from your past. Same question.
I'm gonna nod and kind of reach up and touch the scar on my face.
Oh, my dear.
And she'll actually move forward to you and just sort of cup your cheek.
Yes, that one caught you unawares, didn't it?
And I'm gonna have
Anyone
like
have
one
any-
tear kind of and wipe it away.
She's just going to look down and just sort of like nod her head. She's looking at you sort of with this knowing look of like a grandmother, a maternal type of figure, just sort of taking in how you're feeling at this moment.
It's all right. You're safe now. We've got you. Not to pry, and not that I like to gossip. Well, actually, I do like to gossip, but I haven't had enough to drink. However, any unusual dreams lately, particularly this evening after we all went in to rest? I will admit I dozed off myself, keeping visual over Yurik, and I could have sworn I was back at home with my brother, and he was having far too much fun taking away my spell book. Could have sworn he was right there. I wanted to punch him.
Strange dreams, not that strange, really, when you think about it. But vivid dream, sure.
Like you could have stayed there and it was your reality. Yes?
Oh yeah, it was real nice, real pleasant, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you had a pleasant one. Lucky you.
Yeah.
Much the same for me. I was back in college. I could do that again. College was good.
Yeah. College was good. You're that type who probably would have stayed there the whole time if you could have. Right. The forever student. No, that's like me. What about you, Jane? Anything curious in your dreams?
Yeah. I was in the hunt. It was like an old memory, but it was fun. It was fun and scary and nerve-wracking, but I was in the hunt again.
Heart racing,
Yeah,
breath catching, anticipation, adrenaline.
exactly.
That feeling, I know. Yes. Wait a minute, where's Shrek? Where's your little fellow?
He was asleep earlier. I don't know where he is now.
That's
we should probably
interesting, though,
check.
because I was going to say that's actually interesting, because your little orb buddy there was really insistent about getting Zira up and getting Gervain up, and then nothing about Shreg.
Oh yeah, that was because I was
even
going to let
know that.
Shrek sleep. I just told him not to bother, because Shrek, he'd been through a lot and everything. They did. I didn't want to mess, wake him up or anything. So that's
you
why
told Noname to not wake up Shrek.
yeah, don't wake up
Specifically
Shrek
told
just
him-
because Well, yeah. I mean, not specifically. I mean, I don't. I can't tell them what to do, but I can ask them, make a request.
So you mentioned it and it listened to you, huh?
I suppose, sure. In the same way that I can talk to you, or I can talk. Yeah. Why?
Wait, you can talk to it?
Well, I mean, I can talk is kind of a weird. I can think at it sometimes, but then I hear it. It's complicated. I don't want to get into it or anything. We don't have to. It's there was a gray mist creature there. That was weird, huh?
Slane, my boy, don't worry. I'm just trying to see, but looks to me like Noname has found a new friend in you. These lovely little witch lights, they appear every so often, very rarely. But if they deem you a worthy companion to consider a friend, consider yourself lucky.
Oh,
I'm
I like
impressed.
witches, so that's
Yes.
Oh.
I like witches too, they're fun.
Yeah. But Shreg, I thought he was asleep, but they scared, or seem to be whenever there's a fight. So
And as you're saying this, you'll see the covering to your hut and Shreg's hut, Slane, sort of flick open, and there's Shreg, kind of rubbing their eyes.
Guys, what's the ruckus? What happened?
it's a mist creature.
What mist creature? I was dreaming. I was dreaming that I was back in, with training, and it was really kind of like I was back there, and I woke up and I wasn't there. But it could have been there.
The creature
Dreams.
has been dispatched, friend. Perhaps you should return back to your dream place. We will wake you in the morning, or if we require any additional assistance.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good, but, don't stay up late yourself, guys. Rest is important.
And he'll flick the curtain back closed and get himself settled back into bed and go back into his Shreggy sleep state.
So, what I'm hearing is we all had dreams from our past.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, you think that's the monster that was just in there?
I mean,
Well,
it doesn't
it's
sound
possible.
too far off. Zira, did you see the same? Did you see something in that smoke that you saw during your dream? Because, a person from my dream kind of appeared as where that smoke was standing when we were fighting it.
Yeah, it seems like we might have had a pretty similar experience.
And think
Right.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, what do you know about this, Mama Rihanna? Is there some sort of creature that can inhabit our dreams, or is it something that shows up where we are at the moment, or we just happen
Oh,
to stumble on it?
Well, I think we got a little bit of, column A, some are column B, forget C. But based on what you're revealing, yes, this is an actual creature, and it every so often kind of will appear. It's drawn to stronger dreams and those who are caught up in emotions and reliving things, I suppose, or some sort of turmoil. And quite frankly, I'm not surprised that Reork might have drawn it towards this area, and it sort of fed upon the rest of you. They are dream wraiths. They are not exactly common, but they aren't exactly good either to have nearby. So it looks as though it's dispatched of, thankfully. But yes, they do make themselves known if the dreamers are susceptible enough to giving into their dreams. It sounds as if some of you are dealing with a few, issues. That may have come into play a little bit.
So, okay. So it's going to use, it uses our past against us. Well, we can't just have good vibes or something and not get them again.
Yeah, it's not so much that it uses your past against you. It uses strong emotions that are part of your dreams, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
The stronger the feeling in your dream.
It has been several years since I last had to sleep. The fact that this creature reduced me to some sort of unconscious state against my will concerns me deeply.
It even had an effect on you, Metal Man. That is concerning.
Yes, to say the least.
Right. Well,
I think seeing the that person come back alive the other day, it had me thinking about some stuff I kind of put away, and maybe it just brought that back up during my dreams.
The old bottle it up and that got a little shaken issue. Popped your cork, so to speak.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it.
Oh. Like a good bottle of beer. Shake it up and out it goes. Actually, a beer sounds lovely right now.
Is there a tavern in this town? I mean, probably not, right? If it's run by children.
Yeah, the kids aren't exactly brewing. So, no, there's nothing really in terms of alcoholic beverages. You do see Mama kind of get this sly grin on her face, and she pulls out a flask, and she kind of gives it a wiggle, and you can hear it's a little bit full.
Who wants a hot toddy?
Yes.
So she'll hand it over to you first, Gervais.
Yes, you make sure you get a nice, strong swig. That's my favorite flask. It's a very good one. Also a very good whiskey.
Yeah,
I think it's a whiskey. Maybe it's not a whiskey. Maybe it's a moonshine. Maybe it's the moonshine. It could be the moonshine.
So Gervais, do a constitution check. To see if you're dealing with some whiskey or some moonshine, because she truly doesn't remember what she put in there for you.
We finna find out,
So-
folks. 23.
Okay, so 23. It's definitely it's a strong whiskey, but it's a nice whiskey. It's not the strip your guts type of moonshine that she was slightly concerned it could also be.
That's pretty good. That's some good stuff.
Yes,
So these dream wisps, do they tend to run around solo, or should we be keeping an eye out for more of them? I mean, I don't know how these things
Well,
behave.
Well, quite frankly, that's my first one to deal with firsthand. I wouldn't put anything beyond another showing up later on, especially if you all are sort of not letting your corks pop. Emotions can be a very strong thing here in the forest. Even if it's not these creatures, you might start attracting others who will take advantage of your distracted mental state.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, all right. So, well, are we no more danger tonight then? So, do we? Is Ririk okay? Anything we need to do with him?
I'm going to go check on him and see. Yes, let me go check on him, make sure he's all right. Quite frankly, I don't know if my dreams were because this creature was close by and it sort of influenced my falling asleep, so I don't know what happened while I was out. You all stay here, and I'll be right back out.
And she'll kind of walk away. She'll pat your shoulder, Gervain.
Make sure you share. And leave some for me.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Let's share.
Slade, here you go.
Oh!
Slain.
Okay, so Slain, you take a big swig of this. I have a feeling it's this camaraderie you're developing with Gervain, and you're like, oh, I can do it too, kind of thing going on here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So as you take it, it's still the same. It's a good whiskey, but for you, it's sort of the. Have you had this strong of a drink before? Well, it's not the moonshine. It's whiskey. That was. It could be.
I was gonna say maybe.
Maybe
he's just used to drinking the bad stuff.
So
yeah, he's not had any real strong stuff, I guess. You know, just whatever you can make in the out in the hut.
Okay, so it basically sort of kicks the back of your throat a little bit, and it almost makes you inhale before you've had a chance to swallow completely. So kind of wrong pipe syndrome. So you take your swig and you start choking just a little bit, but you know.
That was good. All right, who pass it along? He's gonna try to look
who's
cool
getting the
about it, like he didn't choke himself.
Zira, show Slane. Show Slane how it's done, Zira.
Oh gosh, come on! You better sword fire than me. You can't be a better drinker.
I'm gonna give him a little smile, but definitely still shaking when I take it from him. And what are we rolling? Constitution? Yeah. 18.
Yes.
So you're able to swig this quite fine. What does it look like? Because you said you were shaking a little bit, but you're also able to handle your liquor.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna take a couple good swigs of it, and it warms me up. It starts to make me feel a little bit better, and I give a little bit of a laugh, not very sincere. And Sling, maybe you should try another. And I hand it back to him.
Oh, we're switching rotation. All right.
I get a feeling Slade's gonna be drunk tonight.
This is going to be the night we got Slain drunk.
Yes.
Hammered.
What'd you do tonight with your PC, Jim? I got him drunk.
Drunk. Good luck finding him.
So at least this time you're not choking. It's still kind of strong, and at this point you're feeling a little bit definitely warm and a little bit floaty. Kind of like
so
you're not
me,
so grounded.
Yeah, here's what I think. I think that one time, long time ago, that some people contacted acid elementals and had them live in our stomachs so that we could fight trolls. Think about it for 5 minutes, and you'll understand where I'm coming from. How else you can get rid of a troll?
Sling, maybe you should pass that along now.
Oh yeah. Here you go, Maurice.
Someone please get a clip of that, please. So, Slain, who do you pass the flask
He
of
passes
fun?
it to Maurice. He passes it to Maurice, not thinking. He's just sort of, at this point, he's one of those drunks that like leans into it. He gets amped whenever excited to be wasted, and so he's always acts a little bit drunker than he actually is.
Okay.
But
So,
he'll talk
Maurice,
me
you
by
have the
zero.
flask of fun.
Yeah, Maurice will take the flask and he'll kind of like tip it up. If only a good comrade, and he'll like tap his like faceplate where there should be a mouth, but there isn't one. Unfortunately, I lack certain orifices required for the consumption of alcohol, and then he'll pass it down the line.
So,
All right.
AOL.
Take us home,
We're gonna
Mule.
pass it along to you.
Yep. I don't think AOL's actually done much drinking ever.
Let's see how she does.
Hey.
All right.
Okay.
So she's one of those it doesn't affect her. You take the swig and it's warming. It actually tastes pretty decent, better than you thought. There's like this sort of honey oak-ish like flavor once you sort of get beyond the initial shock of the astringent quality to it. So what does it look like as AOL tips it back?
Probably initially makes a face because the whole astringent property's like, well, if I have to drink cleaner, I guess honey oak cleaner's okay.
Oh man.
And then Elle's gonna go ahead and pass it back to Gervain.
I guess we're supposed to save some for Mama Rihanna, so let me just cap this off.
Yeah.
Well, I think Srank said that we should probably get the rest of our rest in. Were we in separate huts when we were sleeping or something?
Because it's panned out. We've actually now been at Olchek for 2 days now. So this is your third night in there. So no, second night. So in your second night in there, they actually got it set up so it was 2 to a hut, so you had a little bit of breathing room, and that way Mama could just keep the hut with Riorik just to her and him, so she can take care of him as needed. So you had Zira and AOL in one hut, then you had Shreg and Slain in the other, and you and Maurice Gervain were sharing the last hut. Although
Okay.
Maurice doesn't really interest you, you've got like your own one-man hut with a visitor every so often if Maurice needed to like do some maintenance on himself type of situation.
Gotcha. Well, I think our sleeping arrangements are fine since I know that me and Zira got a little bit messed up from the sleep and that monster, but since the people that we're hunting with weren't affected, and we should be okay to just keep the same sleeping buddies, I guess.
Slain, will one of your
I
will
will
your
set myself
orb
up
warn
in the
us?
Go ahead, Zara. What were you saying?
Will your orb warn us if one of those come back again?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. Noname, maybe they could. Maybe I haven't asked. I think we'd have to give them something. I think that's how fairies work, like some milk or a childhood memory or something.
It's a fairy?
I think so. What she said was a witch light. Witch light is another thing, but it's green.
Oh.
Came out of the forest, so I thought it was a fairy.
Does it listen to other people or just you?
I mean, I guess it could listen to other people. Like it can hear and stuff, but I don't really talk to it that much. Like we're just getting to know each other. So I don't want to rush things. You know what I mean? It's just weird to ask it to do a lot of stuff for me. Well, are you worried? Because I can just stay up. I'm probably not going to sleep anyway tonight.
I was gonna say, I think
I
after
advise
that
you-
little escapade.
Whoa, hold on. Go ahead, AOL.
I was gonna say after that little escapade earlier, probably taking shifts on the sleeping might be good right now, just to be sure.
And Zero, what were you going to say?
I was just going to question him if he was sleeping or not.
Okay.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not. You know, you get restless at night, and I like being up at night anyway. You know, so.
And then Maurice, what were you going to add to the conversation?
Out of us, I am the only one who does not actually require sleep. I strongly advise do your best to rest, my comrades. I will set myself up in the hallway. I have maintenance to perform regardless. I will be awake. I will listen attentively for all of you.
So I think with Gervain's
Go ahead, Javane.
cool. Yeah, I'm gonna go find Zira and Zira. Sound like you had some pretty weird dreams, and like I said, we both saw something in the smoke. Do you wanna? I mean, I just want to figure out what to think or do here. Do you want to? I'd like to talk about what I saw. If you want to. If you want to say something about what you saw, then maybe we can get over this and not have these dreams or have these things come up while we're here. It seems like a lot of funkiness has been happening, and I don't want this to like continue as we go on to this journey, at least for myself. So I guess I just kind of wanted to vent.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe I'll share mine. I haven't really shared before, but you go first, and then we'll just yeah.
Sure.
So this is the
So
conversation the two of you are sort of having off to the side. Is that what you're picturing here?
yeah.
Okay. So then let's basically have it where Maurice, you've set yourself up to keep watch. Where do you think you'd probably stand? Where do you think would be the best place to position yourself? Do you want to be by Urik's hut, or do you want to be more sort of in the center bonfire area?
Oh, that's right, because we have to keep an eye on him as well. Is there a place in the common area, like towards the downstairs, where I could feasibly kind of set myself up at like a table and still look out a window towards Urik's hut?
You're not in a building. This is an outdoor setup. It's sort of like a glorified camping setup. So you have individual huts scattered around, like a bonfire common area.
Yeah,
so
right
you could easily
in front of fire then, so I can just kind of keep my head on a swivel if I have to.
Okay, so you can set yourself up there, and you could easily just sort of swivel your head around and still get like the full 360 as you slowly tick around and keep your ears open, so to speak. AOL, would you go and sort of turn in at this point? I don't know if you heard me on that one. What about you, Slain? Are you going to try and stay up as well, or do you think you're going to take what Maurice has to say and go off and try and get some extra sleep and in your hut with Shrek?
He's probably just going to sleep outside. I mean, he doesn't like to sleep under a roof anyway. Just, you know, he never gets a good night's rest. So he'll just see if he dozes off by the fire or something like that.
Okay, so
But he's not like
Slain dozes off at the
purposely
fire.
Yeah, he's just like snoozing or
All right, and Noname is just sort of hovering around you and kind of just turning into like again the nightlight mode. It's not as bright as it was because you are by the fire, but it's still keeping this constant, even though it's a dull glow. AOL, did you go back into the hut to get some extra sleep and recoup?
Yeah, I would have gone back in the hut there.
Okay, so that basically leaves it where for you and for Zira and Gervain, is this a conversation you want to have by the fire, or would you go and kind of stand off a little bit towards the side so that others can hear
I think
you?
I'm probably more towards the side, but that depends on Zira's character, so whatever works for Zira.
Yeah, that's fine. I felt like when you caught me, I was probably getting up and getting ready to go.
Okay, great. So there's just this sort of slightly darkened, it's not in the complete dark, but it's sort of where the huts are starting to line up around in a circle. you can kind of have a nice little quiet conversation. It's basically where they keep the food and the supplies and everything like that. So it's not a hut that's used at night if you'd want to have a conversation in there.
Sure. I just want to get something off my chest, Zira. What I saw in the smoke was just, it was someone who would compete with me as I was getting trained. I don't know if you had the same thing. I didn't want to compete with her. And she would always kick my ass in things. She would always make everything in competition. She would cheat, lie, steal, whatever it was to best me. And I just wanted to work together. I figured, seems like you're proficient in combat. Being someone who's learning the arts of fighting, I figured it's always better to work in camaraderie. But this person always thought competition. I must beat Gervain. She always had to beat me. And one day during our trial, our last trial, we weren't in the same area, but she ended up being the best hunter there was that day. She cheated again that day, and I got a lot of flack from it. And I wasn't anywhere there, but that's what I saw during that encounter with whatever that thing was we just fought a second ago. And I just had to, hear myself say it to someone. So that's kind of, I just want to, just so I can get some more sleep, get that off my chest so I'm okay.
What did she say to you?
She said that I would never be the best, or I would never make it. I wasn't good enough. She said I didn't belong, and eventually, I guess she made it so. I was basically kicked out of where I grew up. So she made it a point to do that.
Gervain, I hope you know you belong with us. You belong.
Yeah,
You've done well here.
You all have been good. Yeah, you've all been good, and like I said, I really enjoy the camaraderie. It's something I've been looking for, and camaraderie in battle, and I've had the opposite growing up, so I do feel more a part of something than I ever have. And fighting side by side with you, I think that's probably why I enjoy going against things side by side or back to back with you, because it's something that I've been wanting to do ever since I started fighting.
Yeah, I hope you don't listen to that.
Yeah.
Bad part of your past.
Yeah, but that's all I kind of wanted to get off my chest before heading off.
I guess you were right. Maybe we should share so that those wraths don't come back, and you can see Zira truly starting to stumble on her words and kind of get uncomfortable with trying to share her past with you. And she draws the more ornate sword, which the hilt of it is like a Gryffindor with its wings spread out. And she runs her fingers along the Gryffindor part of it. And I think I killed my brother. And
was it an accident?
And yes, no, I'm not really sure. My parents decided that I should marry guy from my clan, and he was mean. And my brothers always, from very young, taught me to be very strong. And I don't know, I wasn't strong. And one night he was hitting me and I was yelling, and I wasn't strong enough to take care of him on my own. And my brother tried to help me, and he died. And I think I killed my brother, and I killed him and took off, and I can't go back. I can't ever go home.
Well, this is it. I mean, same thing you said to me. I mean, hopefully we're forming our own little clan, and the clan that we get to choose. I mean, that's the same thing for me. Just clan shit, clan bullshit. In some ways, I'm happy I'm away from it, and other times, like what you're saying, I kind of miss it. But I think we're forming our own, and hopefully we can choose a little bit more of, obviously not putting each other down or hurting each other, but continue on as a stronger unit, stronger clan, maybe.
Yeah. And hopefully stronger. I don't ever want to be not strong enough again.
Yeah. I think I'd like to continue working on it with, you and Slane, and I think the more we teach Slane, the stronger bonds we'll have, and we'll get better at fighting too.
And Zira's gonna sheath the sword that she was holding and kind of reach up and caress the scar on her face. And yeah, I think I agree. I think we should get some sleep too. It's been an intense night.
Yeah. Well, hopefully this helps us, put these thoughts behind and get some sleep. I guess I'll see you in the morning. And Gervain's gonna say his goodbye and head on off to his hut to go sleep.
And Zira will do the same.
All right, so basically we have it where you've all started to head back to your little spots where you're going to rest. Maurice, you are doing your 360, taking stock of everything. And you'll see Mama Rihanna come out of Riorik's hut, and she's looking very concerned. She takes sort of a quick perusal of the area and sees just you doing your vigil. And she'll come over and she'll actually pick up the flask that Gervain had capped and kind of tucked at the side of one of the logs, and she'll pick it up, and you see her take a very long swig from it. And she lets this big sigh.
Oh, Metal Man. He has a very long road ahead of him.
The same can be said for all of us, wouldn't you agree?
Oh, we all have our stories, don't we? Our own demons to fight, yes, of course, but I fear his demons have gotten a bit stronger, no thanks to that creature. He's not right in the mind right now.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to take longer.
Unfortunately, the magics of the mind are outside of my area of expertise. Is there any assistance I can lend you?
Just make sure another one of those things don't get close by, because that did not help the matter at all. We'll have to look at this with fresh eyes tomorrow. Regroup and think what it is we can do. For now, I'm going to go back in. And
she'll tilt her head and she kind of looks at the Noname sort of floating over Slane in his sleep.
I wonder, little friend, maybe you could help me keep vigil in Riorik's hut.
And you'll see Noname kind of raise its glimmer a little bit and just sort of sweep gently over to her and kind of go with her as she goes into the hut, and you see this green glow take in Riorik's hut. You can see underneath the curtain after she goes back in and twitches the curtain shut. But she's very quiet for Mama. She sort of just gave you a quick nod. She didn't even say goodnight. She's just toddling back in, and it's the night she closes the door on the nighttime, and you alone get to witness the shifting of the time. You see the stars start to arc their way across the night sky, and what little clouds are in the sky sort of sweep their way through, masking them every so often. And then you hear the familiar sound of the night creatures starting to settle and the morning creatures starting to wake. And you get that surreal half light starting to grow from the base of the skyline, and it starts off as this very rich red tones fading into pink, bringing in wisps of orange and yellow, and sunrise comes up and over the village. And you hear the birds starting to sing. You can hear the river off in the distance lapping against the shore. And you start to hear the familiar sounds of the people of Olchek waking, the children starting their daily routines, the adults doing what they can before they have to start doing their homage to their god as tree-like forms. And it's one of those situations where you've got this little piece of quiet time and reflection for yourself to consider what happened to you as well. With that strange dream or a flashback, something you're still not quite sure about for yourself. And the others will start to hear the birds chirping. They'll start to hear the laughter of some of the children playing a little bit. Maybe one of them might have upset a bucket, and you hear them kind of stomping in the mud a little bit extra, just for fun, because, hey, kids in mud. And it's at this point where it's up to you. You could stick your head out a little bit. You could kind of think on things a little bit more. But you will hear Mama come out of the hut and sort of shout in her mama-like way,
All right, everybody! Who didn't die in their sleep?
I'm fine.
Morning, Slane.
Oh,
Your little friend was quite a help.
Oh, great.
I'll stumble out of my hut and say, "Not dead yet," and I'll strap my armor back on. I'm coughing, kind of look slightly hungover.
Ah, yes, it's a good vintage, isn't it? Good year. Wait, is it vintage or year? Hold on. What was in there in the first place? Oh, it was the whiskey.
I
so,
believe that.
yeah. Ah, morning, my dear. You're up as well. That's good.
and you'll see Shrek he'll come out of the hut as well, and he's rubbing and they're rubbing their eyes, and they kind of just sit down next to Slane and not saying much, but slowly but surely you all sort of come out and you're sitting down, and at this point the bonfire is not a bonfire, it's actually kind of died down to just embers, and you can see that some of the children have taken the embers to go off to bring it back into the cooking area and get the morning fires going and start getting things ready for breakfast and everyone, and they'll bring out breakfast for you, and Anton will actually emerge, and he kind of walks over. So, yeah, I decided to kind of go my own way last night. How'd it go? And he sits down with the rest of you and kind of, he's sitting there with his hands leaning up against. Wait, you attacked by a bad dream like, you didn't sleep so well? Is that what you're talking about?
I mean, figuratively speaking, like that's what happened, but it was literally we were attacked by a bad dream. Missed out.
Dream wisp thingy,
Really?
wraith. Shit got weird.
Yeah, shit always gets weird around here. Can't say I'm too surprised. Boy, you are an interesting group to travel with. I will say that for sure. But look, not that I don't like your company, not that I don't find you very interesting and lovely, but I did get word that I need to get back to my family because they need some help with the burrow. They kind of miss my presence, which, hey, is kind of nice. But I wanted to make sure that I got to say my goodbyes to all of you. And he'll stretch out his hands and kind of do like this knuckle crack thing. And he'll stand up at his full 3.5 some feet. And he'll walk over to each of you and kind of stick out his hand. It was an absolute pleasure meeting you. And, maybe sometime, and he's like shaking your hands, he's saying this. And maybe sometime we'll have a chance to just sit and have a good meal. Quite frankly, though, you guys have some shit going down that I don't want to get involved with. No charge for bringing you over here. But best of luck to you, and best of luck to you. Mama, it's been real dull, baby, but I gotta go. And you'll see Mama kind of like cover her mouth.
Right, yes, you go do you, Anton, and tell the family hello. Especially your mother, poor thing. Is it true she had another one? Yeah, well, you know how Mom is. She likes the kids.
And he'll start walking off towards the river and do like a quick salute, and you'll see that there's actually been this boat that's been sitting there. And again, in there you have Bartok, his brother, who had originally brought you over from the other side, sitting in the boat, and he kind of does a quick little salute to you all as Anton hops in, and you see these two little Irina folk going back upriver across the way to the area in which you first met Anton off in the distance. And Mama will turn.
Right, well, that's one last mouth to worry about, especially a mouthy mouth.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well,
I personally like him.
he's a sweet fellow, but my God, sometimes, I swear. He likes to, calls it as he sees it. It's gotten him in trouble a couple times. I know the scars, and the stories behind them, too. I'm going to go get some food. And I'll leave it to you all to, not fend for yourselves, but if you want to get something to eat, you're adults at this point. But we do need to talk about Ririk.
All right.
I mean, I'm ready for some grub.
Yeah, food sounds good.
And
I like food.
so, as you're saying this, you'll notice that this little girl comes over to you all, and she's got a few dishes in her hand, and she's got the long blonde hair and the big, big blue eyes, and this pretty little smile on her face.
Yes, good morning. I thought you might want the, I got you food. I brought you breakfast. I thought you might want the breakfast for you for today.
And it's Peach. And she puts down some bowls of fruit and some oatmeal and some toast, and there's some freshly cooked up eggs as well. And she hands you each a plate.
It's a little crowded inside, so I thought maybe it'd be better if you stayed out here and enjoyed it. And,
Thanks, Peach. Is there you got any coffee in this village? Do you guys roast your own things? I need a little pick me up.
You tired still?
And just a little.
I can go check and see. I'll be right back, huh? Do you all want the coffee? You all want coffee?
I am
We're
okay,
able to
please.
find
I
some
do not
shop.
require anything.
No, I
You
got
can
my
tell
own
she's
stuff,
looking.
thank you.
I can do tea too. We have some nice herbal tea. Would the tea help too? Would that help wake you up?
Yeah, that would work if whatever you got, anything like that. Yeah.
All right, so she'll smile at you, and again, it's this big, bright smile, and she aims it especially at you, Maurice, and she quickly dashes off into the food hut, and you hear her shouting,
They wanted something called coffee. Do we have coffee?
She has no idea what you're talking about, this little girl.
Yes.
But a little bit of time will pass, and she comes back out, and she's got some cups of tea, and it's basically herbal tea. She did the best she could.
We don't have this coffee. Rowan said they have to go elsewhere for it in water, but we don't usually drink it because he says it makes people too hyperactive and it makes it harder to stand calmly. So
Yeah,
we
you're
have
right,
teas.
but this tea's great. It's really
Slane,
great. And I'll yeah.
you know
we're
what
good.
that's like?
Who's that? Stand still.
Yeah.
No, I don't really like to stand still unless I'm hunting. Then it's easy.
Oh.
But I don't know anything about trees.
I could give him chamomile tea. It makes people calmer and sleepier. Maybe that'll keep you from bouncing around.
I mean, I feel like I just woke up and I don't want to get sleepy. And he does have his own roots and leaves and things that he chews on from time to time, and so he's stuffing a softened root into here. So I'll just chew this for a while and it'll be fine. It'll be okay. Spits it. Don't worry about me. These eggs are great.
She sees you spit. She kind of takes a step back when you spit.
Okay. Oh, by the way, Mr. Maurice.
And she opens up her hand and she has a new peach pit that she's polished up and she hands it over to you, Maurice.
I thought this one was especially pretty.
And she's offering up this peach pit to you that she's taken the time to polish up, and it's a slightly different color than the one she gave you before, but this is sort of her way of showing she likes you and thanks you. And again, she's got that big smile on her face going.
I found something else too.
You found something. What is the other thing you found?
And that thing that little kids do, she's going to stand on tiptoe and bring her hand and cup it against she wants to tell you a secret.
I found something. It's by the river though. I don't think it's for the others. I think it's something you should be having. But I can't pick it up.
Maurice kind of it seems that big friend Peter has something that requires my attention specifically. Nothing urgent, nothing to worry about. We'll take a small walk with small child. We will investigate and return shortly. Please enjoy your breakfast.
And Peach is going to look over to the rest of you, and she's got when the kids are caught doing something, maybe they should, it's this grin.
Yes, I just have to show them it's a little treasure I found that we'll be back and have nice breakfast.
And the two of them will leave you to all enjoy your breakfast. And so, Maurice, you have Peach. She's walking in front of you, but it's not quite the walk. It's more like these happy skips and leaps, and she doubles back every so often. She almost dances around you in excitement, and she's just sort of doing this little nonsensical sing-song thing, and she's chattering away about how she got up early in the morning, and she snuck out the other side of the village, and she just likes to go exploring on the river, because sometimes there are cool things that she'll find there, but she won't tell the others about it. She kind of keeps them in her own little special treasure spot. And you're finding out way more about this, curious little girl than you probably would have otherwise. And you can see that there is debris and things that will wash up on the riverside. Most of it is just, it's bits of wood, it's rope, it's, maybe some bits of fabric or, a random crate of something that's been broken open. And she kind of takes a turn around this collection of rocks, and she puts her hand up really quick. She says,
just wait, I want to make sure it's still there.
And she'll peek around, and she pops back up with a big smile.
It's still here. Come here. Come and look and see. I think you're going to like it.
And she'll...
Believe me, I am already here.
So as you walk over to where Peach is standing, she's pointing her finger very directly, and you catch this glint of light on the shore, and it's not where the water is. So it's not the water catching the sunlight. It's something else on the sandy shore itself. And it seems to be slightly buried by the sand, but you see the clear shape of a handle sticking out of it. And it's a metal handle.
Okay. I would, approach it kind of carefully, I guess. and kneel down and get a firm grip on it and see what happens if I try to pull it out.
Okay, give me
Am I the king of England now?
Yes, King Arthur, you're now the king of the Margreave Forest. Do a strength check. Now we just need to find your Guinevere and Lancelot. Oh, wait, maybe not.
Ooh. I'll settle for Morgana.
Actually, yeah, she's a pretty cool one. Everyone forgets about Morgana.
Right? 17.
Yeah. Nice. So you're able to grab this handle, and there's a slight resistance because the sand's still a little bit wet, and you hear the sound as you up and out. But in your hand, you're holding a mace. But it's an unusual-looking mace. It almost has a very constructed look similar to yourself. And as you're turning it and brushing off the sand, Peach is sort of clapping her hands.
That's even better than I thought it was going to be. There's more to it.
And you're turning it, and you're noticing that as you're turning it, that it looks as though it could shift, or maybe something could change, because it reminds you of some of your own build's features. And so Peach will look up at you.
Do you know how to use that?
I would like to find out. And then, if it's okay with you, Almighty DM, I would like to use my Channel Divinity to tap into a divine well of knowledge and give myself proficiency with Arcana and try to figure out what the heck this is.
Go for it.
Alrighty. So then I can...
Well then, with a crit of a 24. Hello. I think because of the the fact that you just have this little bit of innocence standing next to you and this peaceful area, you're quite able to open yourself up and be guided by the divine forces around you. And this is something that you have heard of before, though quite frankly many considered it myth, because more often than not it was something that was going to be bestowed upon you should you have pleased your god. And you have the tricky part of having to please your gods as your Pantheist priest self. And as you look it over and turn it around, sure enough, you see the telltale signs of clockwork formation, of gears and springs and things like that. And you realize that you hold in your hand something called a clockwork mace of divinity. And I'm going to put this so that you can see it as well.
I'm
yes.
very excited.
There you go. All right. So you can now take a look at it. It should be in your journal. So this is something
I
that
see.
is... You got it?
I see it, but now I also see Boots to the Grandmother.
Yes, that's something that everyone else can see as well. I have to fix that later because I hit the wrong button during gameplay. But you see that this uncommon mace, it comes from something mechanically created, mysterious origins, possesses 3 charges, which you can use a day, which will transform its shape from that of a mace into a trident. During this transformation, the weapon will do 1d6 bonus radiant damage. So along with the damage you do, you get the radiant damage tossed into it. It transforms back into its original shape after a minute, and you're going to use your bonus action to activate this. You do need to attune to this weapon. Do keep that in mind. And this is something that Dan and I pulled together as a fun little thing for you.
Well, I think it's sweet. So thank you to you and Dan.
Sweet. You're very welcome. So yes, you have this new mace in your hand, and you have Peach just sort of sitting there, well, not sitting there, but standing there, and she's saying,
So do you know? Do you know what it's supposed to do? Do you know what it is?
I don't know what it is. And I believe I know what it is supposed to do. The only thing I do not know is what I am supposed to do with it. And then Maurice will kneel and he'll kind of like put his arms out wide for like a really wide hug. This is a fitting treasure, little one. I could not have asked for a better gift.
that's a wonderful thing. And she'll give you a hug, and she's doing that hug where, she's got her arms wrapped around your neck, and it's almost like because she's so excited, were you someone who'd need to breathe, you'd probably get that moment of like, I can't aspect, but she's just so excited and happy that she's made you happy, that you just feel this strength of this little girl just like trembling with excitement that she's done something that's made this person who's helped her out so very happy and pleased with this discovery. So you have this new mace in your possession.
Pat on the back so as not to like accidentally crush her, and then just kind of stand down and shoulder so that she's on like a hip-ish portion of himself, and then start walking back. Mace in the other hand, kind of like examining it, trying to get a feel for it, feel its heft, kind of swinging side to side as he walks.
Okay, so you're able to, it probably was about a half-hour walk away from this discovery, and then you're able to get back into the village, and you can see that your companions are they've had their breakfast, they're all sort of going through their morning routines as well, and it gives you just a little bit more time if you want to finish your attunement with this weapon, or if you want to show it off to them. It's completely up to you, but basically you're back at the village, and you can see that Mama is discussing things with Rowan. They're deep in discussion, and he's nodding his head, and she's also looking a little bit troubled in one respect, and he's taking her very seriously, and they're standing in front of Yorick's hut. And the others, you will see Maurice come back, and he's got Peach on his hip, and she's beaming. I mean, if this kid was supposed to be a lighthouse, she's doing her job. That's how big and bright her smile is right now. How would you all react to this sight? What would you be doing?
Slane's looking for a black chicken.
Okay.
He needs one.
I know why you need it. It's just such a fun. He wants a black chicken.
He's wondering, like, are they all black feathers or speckled, or he's mostly muttering out loud to himself. But that's what he's in the village looking to see if somebody will sell him a chicken.
So a couple of the boys have heard you say this, and they get kind of excited because they know that there is a black chicken on the outskirts of the village that would probably fit the bill based upon what you're asking for. So they're like, yeah, come this way. We've got something. And again, the one does have. They look at you and like, a trick?
Yeah,
there's a black feather. They're looking at each other kind of like, does he want our help or not? Well, we can tell you where to find it. If you don't want our help, we can get other things done.
No. We can show me. It's early still. I'll take it. I'll take your help.
All right, so they show you to the general area, and there is a black chicken that's sort of wandering and pecking its way around the edge of the village, and you can see there's other chickens there of varying colors. You have white chickens, you have brown and white chickens, you have this reddish-brown chicken. There are chickens that are speckled of the black and white variety with the red crest and all that fun stuff, but there is this very striking black feathered chicken with the black feet and everything like that, and its beak is black, everything.
So, I'll just, sit on the ground near it for a while and see what it does. If it like, is curious about me or couldn't care less, or... and while there, is it eating anything off the ground? Is it getting anything like that?
Mites and bugs. It's doing what chickens do best. It's pecking and it's finding little critters to eat.
All right. He'll dig in the dirt idly and find some worms and grubs and things like that. Just kind of hold them loosely in his hand. And he's going to take a while and going to cast animal friendship on it.
Okay.
And let's see if the beast. Okay, so
what does it
has to make a wisdom saving. Wisdom saving throw DC 14, or it's charmed for the 24 hours.
Congratulations, you charmed a chicken. These things are not smart.
My man's out here charming black chickens. All right.
Yeah, he is. He's you seem like a nice chicken. Is it a rooster or a hen? And
Yeah,
he's
let's
not
roll
gonna name
a-
anything.
It's a hen. Evens, it's a hen.
Nice. Hi, Ann. And he goes back to the boys that are there. He's like, "Oh, this is a great chicken. Is there anywhere I can get like a cage or something for it? You know, I don't want to. I mean, is it somebody's chicken? Am I taking this? Am I stealing it? Whose chicken is this?"
It's a chicken.
He realizes not like
It's-
tucked under his arm.
They're kind of like it's sort of like it's the village flock. It's just the chickens. We can get you a reed
Can I
cage.
take it? Yeah, I'd like a reed.
Yeah?
Can I take it?
They're looking at each other
Anything
kind of like, what? I think you can just take it because you've been helping us, but we'll ask Rowan,
Oh, that's great.
and they'll
Okay, yeah, okay.
they'll start walking back, and you can see they're whispering to each other. First he wants the chicken, and now he wants a cage. And they're a little perplexed by this newcomer because again, you didn't exactly show up with the rest of them, and they show up, and now there's like things happening at night and everything like that. And they'll go off in the direction of where they think Rowan might be. So.
All right.
Yeah, a strange man asking for odd things. Okay, so they'll walk up to Rowan. If you're behind, you'll see they talk to Rowan and they point to you. And again, he's with Mama, and you can see she's kind of like hiding a smile as she hears the children discussing about what they're requesting. And Rowan, he furrows his brow a little bit too, and he looks at you and kind of tilts his head, and he looks back at them, and you see him just kind of nods slowly.
Yeah, I'm just looking for a cage for a chicken. So I guess I can take this, right? Like, you know, I lost all my money in the river, but I don't know.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
guys have money.
if you want a chicken, we can spare a chicken. If you want that particular chicken, you can have that particular chicken. It's just
this one.
there's nothing special about it. We get them every so often. It's just more what the hens lay than anything else. Kind of like, I have blonde hair, my sister has brown hair.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe I'll find a like a rooster or something. We'll just, anyway, don't worry about it. I'll be fine. I'll stop talking.
Right.
It's Slane's having a morning.
Aren't we all Slane? So the kid, he drank a little bit last night. He got a little fun last night. So the kids will come back, and they have in their hands a reed cage that can very easily fit a chicken in there, and they'll wander you back with you to where that you last saw the chicken. They'll help you even catch the chicken and get the chicken in the cage, so you come back with your black feathered chicken in the cage. And at this point, you've all regrouped. Maurice, you've had time to attune now to your mace in full. And Mama comes and she sits down with the rest of you, and she'll look at you all.
Right, well, I've spoken with Rowan, and they are being far more accommodating than they need be, but he's agreed that it wouldn't be wise to move Riorik at this point. Unfortunately, where he is from, it's far too much of a journey, and in his condition, especially after last night, what seems our smoky intruder unfortunately did do some damage in my sleep to him, so he needs a little bit more time. But rumor has it that they're having a visitor come up this way today, and I think it might be someone you'd be interested in meeting. If you all don't mind maybe waiting a little bit. I know that Riorik has hired you on, but I'm afraid right now you'll just be sitting on your thumbs if you stay here. We're more aware that this place needs a little extra protection, and Rowan is making arrangements for that. But I have a feeling that if the trees are telling me the right story, our soon-to-arrive guests might need you more than we do right now.
Okay.
I mean, better than sitting around idly.
Yeah.
Yes, you all seem to have a little bit of a oomph to you, and it'd be a shame to have you waste it just watching people.
And she'll kind of wave her arms at the adults who are doing their ritual.
I mean, it's interesting for the first couple of days. Yes, that's a good way to put it, yes.
And she'll kind of smile.
I actually need to remember that one. But yes, I had my little discussion this morning, and he should be here soon, actually.
And as she's saying this, you hear, it almost sounds like, for those of you who have ridden horses before, it sounds like the footfalls of horses. You hear the sound of hooves moving across stones, coming from the riverside of things. And off in the distance, again being backlit by the morning sun, you see this blurred figure coming towards you. And if they're riding a creature, it's a smaller creature. It's not the size of a horse. And this person on top of them has something on their head, it seems. Maybe it's a strange headdress of some sort or another. And right now it's sort of like you have to shield your eyes to try and even get a look at this approaching figure, because again, it's sort of like you get that flare of the sun behind them. And especially for those of you who have that sensitivity to sunlight, it's extremely difficult to focus on them. And Mama just sort of sits there with a smile on her face and kind of just clapping her hands softly with this pleased look. And again, you're hearing this clopping of the hooves, and as this approaching figure gets closer and closer, you're realizing that as the sun sort of is no longer behind them and they're getting into the enclosure of the village, this isn't a person riding a beast of any sort. It is someone who, well, while you've heard of these creatures called centaurs, this doesn't seem quite right because they're a little bit more finely built. The body seems almost that of, well, a deer. And in this particular case, their body is this beautiful fawn-toned coat on the lower portion. And on its hindquarters, there are some speckling, there's some speckling of lighter browns and whites that go along the hindquarters and down the back legs. And the torso is the body of what could be an elvish man. And you notice there are these interesting tattoos that go along the arms and across the shoulders and snake across the back of the shoulders. And it's a very distinct, almost like a henna tattoo color. Not dark black or dark blue or anything like that you've seen on other tribes, but it's this warm, rich, reddish brown color of these tattoo markings. And what looked like an odd headdress is actually a pair of antlers growing out of their forehead between the lanky, long, blonde hair. And it looks like deer's antlers, and it's a 4-pointer, for those of you who want to know how many points this creature has. And you see this very angular, narrow face, looks younger, but of course, you know, if it's anything like elves, that can be something interesting to try and pinpoint. You're not quite sure. But you get this quiet sense of confidence and peace about them as they start to approach, and they have a bow slung over their shoulders, and their quiver is draped across their midsection so that it sort of hangs in the front portion of their legs around the waist. And they come up with not necessarily a smile, but sort of a knowing acknowledgement of both Rowan and Mama, who are standing there with you.
Ah, yes. This is exactly who I was expecting. It's good to see you again, Hemerocalis. How are you on this fine morning?
And you'll see this creature, he nods his head down. I'm doing well, but something tells me that they have already spoken to you, have they not?
Yes, they have. And I think these will be the people to help you.
And she's going to wave her arms to the rest of you.
Hemerocalis, let me introduce you to, well, we have Mrs. Slane, Eowel, Jadane, Zira, that little fellow over there still enjoying some food is Shreg, and this is Maurice.
It's very good to meet you all. You may call me Cal. I have come here to see if perhaps our friends here at Dolchik might be able to help us. And it seems that perhaps Hulda is smiling upon my people. For we are in need of assistance.
Exactly
I don't
what type of
suppose,
assistance do you require?
Well, I was told that you were able to handle a situation at the Cradle Grove for the old Czech people.
Yeah.
This is correct?
Yeah, we got that handled for them.
And his dark brown eyes will look over to you, Gervain, and this is something that I was hoping would be the case, for we have an issue of our own we live, and something is plaguing us. We are not sure what, but you seem capable to help them out here at the Cradle Grove. Perhaps you can help us at mine. It is a few days' journey, however, and a little bit more remote. But I promise you we will make sure, if you are able to assist us, that you have everything you need. And my chieftain has made it clear you'll be handsomely rewarded for it as well.
Well, out of curiosity, about how much sunlight are we dealing with along the way? I mean, I've been doing great long as we're under tree cover, but sometimes it's
We are
bright
going through
out.
the forest. Well, sometimes it's raining out, but we will be going through the main portion of the forest, so it should not be so sunny as it is here by the river, if that is your concern.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I'm ready to get someplace new, different. Think we've been here for a bit, and hate to be that stereotype of being a wanderer, but gonna go see some new stuff. Feels about the best thing right now for me, at least.
I'm happy to have your assistance, and trust me, this will be a change of venue, I'm sure. And the rest of you, do you travel together, or do you work individually and just happen to work together at the moment?
We travel together.
What Jolene says we travel is where we go.
And you'll see him sort of like raise his eyebrows, almost impressed by the fact that you're all willing to sort of jump in and say, no, we're a group, we come together. And Mama has a very sly, proud smile on her face.
Yes, Cal, they're a rather interesting group, but I think you'll be happy with what it is they can do when they do work with one another. I wish you all the very best, and I will make sure that I am in contact in one way or another and let you know how Riorik is doing. But for now, I think your skills are better served helping out dear Cal over here. His home is, as he said, not exactly close. It will be a few days' journey for you. But it is a beautiful
Perfect.
part of the forest. If I say so myself, it is, it's special. It's unique, even for Margreave. So, I do hope you can help these people. The Cornelian clan, they are a quiet folk, but they're a good folk. Though I am sure that their chieftain will be more than happy to catch you up with everything and seek your assistance in the matters at hand, which, quite frankly, I'm not sure of myself outside of the fact that assistance is needed. So I will do my part here in Ilchik. Rowan is going to help me, and fingers crossed we can get Riorik to where he needs to be, and as soon as he is well enough to travel, we'll be alerted, and we'll go from there. But for now, we've made sure to get some provisions pulled together for you all, should you agree to this. And Cal, I know that you want to get back as soon as you can, too. So, my dears, I'm afraid this is where we're going to say goodbye again.
And you'll see that a few of the children have come up behind you as she's been speaking. and they each hold a rucksack full of supplies. There's a couple bits of days of rations in there. There's even some rope, things like stuff to start a fire. They basically made it so that you will be okay in the forest and have some necessary basic supplies, water, food, some mending, things like that. And they'll hold it up to you. And Gervain, Peach is standing next to you with a smile on her face.
I made sure to put a couple extra peaches in for yours. Because I know you like peaches.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, these are gonna be perfect for the journey. This is I can't thank you and your people enough. It's been awesome to see what a community can do together. Thanks, Peach.
Thank you for letting us be us. Not many people are good like that. You're all special folk, too.
Thanks.
And she'll give you a quick little smile, and she kind of does like that eager little wave, and she'll turn and she just runs over to Maurice, and Maurice, she just gives you a big hug. Like nothing said, nothing else, but she just hugs around your one little leg, and again, squeeze as tight as she possibly can, knowing it's not going to do much to you, but she's just like,
I'm going to miss you. But you use the new treasure, okay? Right.
I'm going to like pat on the head. Take care of your
She'll giggle.
parents for me.
I will. Hopefully see you soon. And good luck. I know you're going to do just fine, because you did just fine here.
and she'll just smile one more time. And again, it's that big, gorgeous smile. It almost seems like every day she's getting more comfortable with her smile now. So it's just this big, gorgeous smile that she's giving you as she runs off to go and pick back up to doing her chores. And Zira and AOL, she realizes she hasn't said goodbye to you, and she turns around really quick, and it's like this double wave.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Good luck, too.
And she'll also pass by Shreg and give him a quick hug, and then she's off and running as she goes beyond where Shreg is even sitting. And Shreg, at this point, they've gotten up and they've joined you, and they take their pack and they put it on their back, and the other children have pretty much left them by your feet. And Mama and Rowan are standing by you, and Cal has he's not left you, but he's giving you your space. You can tell that he's realizing that this is not his time to be speaking with you, but it's their time to be speaking with you. And Rowan's going to look at you all. I very much appreciate everything you have done for our little village. You didn't have to, but you did. And that goes a long way for us. So we do hope to see you back here. If there's anything we can do, please let us know. My people will always remember your graciousness and your bravery. And he'll nod, and he kind of steps back and starts walking away. And you can see that this boy is quickly becoming a young man from this experience and taking in what is going on with his village and everything like that. And Mom is just going to look up at all of you.
I know I'll see you again sometime. I tend to be like those, what are those things called? Boomerangs, people say. You might think you're rid of me, but I'm going to come right back.
Oh, I knew you were coming. I knew you were going to come back. We can't get rid of you. Not that we ever want to. You're the best.
Oh, you're a doll. You all are very special.
Yeah, I can't have Metal Man, too lonely, so I think he appreciates you being around so often.
Yes, well, here's to hoping that next time Metal Man and I can enjoy some beer and cake. That's ideal. But for now, I will do what I need to do
I will
here.
do what the empty shorts.
Excellent. And you, my dear Airwell, I do hope you find what you are looking for on your journey. I will keep an eye out myself, too. Just in case.
I appreciate it.
Of course, my dear. And Zira.
And she'll turn and she'll face you, Zira. Because she's a little bit shorter, there's not so much of the height difference. So she's looking down at you, and she kind of cups your face with both of her hands.
You're growing, my dear girl. You have a strength in you that you need to remember. Bad dreams aside. Yes?
Yes, thank you, Mama.
Excellent.
And she'll lean over and she gives a quick peck right on top of your forehead. And she'll pat your cheeks very gently.
Good, good. Ah, yes, and Slain. I know you know how this forest works.
Oh, yeah. What about it?
Make sure you help your friends. That's about it.
Oh, yeah. I thought that was implied. I will, Mallory. I hope we meet again. You're really nice. You remind me of my grandma's.
Yeah, we all have a tendency to remind others of each other. Ah! It's the forest, I think. But, yes.
Oh. He thinks about that for a long time. Well, yeah, you take care, and let us know about Rick, and good luck.
Thank you. You as well. And Gervain?
Yeah.
You've got that strength as well.
Yeah.
You know it.
Working on it. Yeah. It'll be there.
Remember, just because others see you one way doesn't mean you have to be that way.
And she'll
Thanks,
pat your
Maria.
arm.
Of course, dear. And Metal Man!
She kind of turns to you with her arms wide open.
Yes, Mama.
Don't forget your oil. Please.
Of course not.
Seems right now.
I always
have
have
that.
it.
Good. So, I will go my way. You all go your way. Emerald Palace, make sure that they are treated well.
And he'll just nod his head, and again, his antlers will sort of catch the sunlight, and you see that they have this velvety covering to them. And he just has this wry grin as she walks away. She's always exuberant, whether she wants to say hello or she wants to say goodbye. But if you are ready, please allow me to start leading you back to my home. And I'll be more than happy to answer questions you might have along the way. I'm hoping that we can at least make half a day's journey into the forest before we set up camp for the night. And as long as you're amenable to it, we are going to keep at a pretty decent pace. I don't want to delay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. I like to keep a good pace myself, so it's good.
Excellent.
I'm ready to go. Leave now.
Hey, Slang.
Yeah.
Can you please shut that chicken up? It's been like I couldn't hear half the conversation the whole time. You gotta do something about that.
I think it's on the road, and eventually we might need to use it for an sacrifice, say, if need be.
Oh, I mean, you tell me the word, and I will sacrifice that thing.
Whoa, Gervain, that is. No, we're just eating eggs.
I was gonna say, I thought you wanted to get that chicken earlier.
I did. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. But right now, we're friends, and I don't want to do anything to upset him. I don't know that you can even understand me right now, but you never know in Margreave. So I just want to. Nothing's going to happen to her. We're just going to eat the eggs.
Okay.
All right, let's just get going.
Cal sort of shakes his head a little bit. It's like, okay. And he actually just starts to walk back from the direction from which you saw him come along the riverside, and pretty much expecting you to follow, not because he's being presumptuous, but because you've agreed to go. And he warned you he wants to get moving. And so you'll start traveling slightly along the line of the riverbed, not even for like 20 minutes. And then he's going to cut into the forest and start weaving you through. And the forest it's transitioning further into spring. So you have more of this green growth coming up. And you have the leaves emerging from the deciduous trees, and the pine trees are showing off their new growth with the lighter green sprigs that are poking out. And you'll see that he's pretty confident in where he's going, and he doesn't seem to be too concerned about not finding the right way to go. It's almost as if the forest is leading him just by the nature of being in there. And he'll call over his shoulder, "So, do you have any questions for me, or would you rather just wait until you get there to find out more information from our chieftain? Now is the time to ask if you two have them."
Yeah. Well, so what are we helping with?
Well, where I live, we have some very unique trees, and they are not doing well. And along with that, our priestess is also not doing well. So we are worried about her health, and we are worried about the trees. For they are both very special and dear to our clan.
Yeah. Is it like somebody hurt your trees or something, or just like you don't know what's going on with them?
Perhaps it's better I explain the grove to you. It might give you some context as to what the problem is.
Yeah.
I come from the grove of Eternal Autumn, where the trees are, well, they are not like this. They are not the fresh green. They are not the spring trees. They are, and he smiles at this. He goes, they are forever the colors of autumn. They are the golds. They are the reds. They are the blushes of yellow. They are warm and bright. But they never shed their leaves. They keep them at all times. We are forever in autumn, the early part of autumn, when the air gets cooler and it is crisper, and there is harvest, and people are joyful and celebrating. But lately we have the trees. They are losing their leaves, which has never happened before. And our priestess has done everything she can for them. But every time she tries to do something for our grove, she too falls more ill. And this is a concern for us. For the trees to be losing their leaves, and for the idea of winter to be around the corner, that is not the way of our people. That is not something we have ever experienced.
Yeah. Well, that sounds real terrible. Do you have any enemies or people that that would want to harm you or hurt you?
He kind of does like this nonchalant shrug. We don't really associate much with others besides traders and those who come to barter for our goods. We keep mostly to ourselves, much like Ulchik, which is why we are happy to work with them every so often. We have tried to live good lives. We have not had any quarrels with anyone nearby that we are aware of. We feel this might be more of a...
Yeah, in your history, has your people ever experienced a full season and back to fall, or is it just always been fall?
For as long as we know, in Panorium, it has always been fall. There have been times where perhaps a hiccup may have happened, but it is nothing that the ritual has not been able to alleviate. We make sure that Holder is happy and that we have paid tribute properly. But it is not working this time.
To whom do you pay tribute to?
Holder.
Olda. Hey, Maurice, does Olda sound familiar to you in any way?
Unfortunately, this is yet another deity who draws a blank to me. I would like to know more about this god. They can perhaps inform us or instruct us about it.
Yeah,
Cal
I
will
don't
look
know
over to
where to
you.
go with.
I'm sure that we'd be more than happy to share whatever information you need about our goddess. And
There's a chance AOL might know from their focus of study.
okay, great. So
And
let's
that was Gods and Masks.
okay. So let's do the Arcana on that one.
Okay. Would that be with advantage giving the focus of study?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah, totally. I mean, hey. So with your 19, this is a name you've heard of before, and she's sort of like the goddess of the seasons, essentially, and hearth and home, and that type of strain. So it's not surprising to hear that she would be honored by a people whose existence is based around a special grove that stays forever in autumn.
Mm-hmm. Would I know the different ways to make her happy through tribute as well? Maybe some ideas I could throw out.
You've heard of some things in passing. The usual celebrating certain equinoxes, of having feasts, of keeping vigil and that type of thing. Again, it runs in line very much to how the seasons are celebrated in the Margreave Forest as well. You have your spring, your summer, your winter, and your fall celebrations, your revelries.
Okay.
Is Cal wearing any like autumn accoutrement or any sort of autumn accents on his person?
It's a good question. He is wearing sort of like a loose. It's like a loose sweater vest, but it's not a sweater vest. He's not like got the V-neck on type of thing. But it's definitely something that it looks to keep his form warmer, and it's actually pinned closed. So it doesn't have sleeves. It gives him, the ease to move his arms as he needs to with his bow and arrows. But it is woven material of like a thicker yarn. And you do notice that the hues are similar to the reds and the golds, and the oranges, like he was talking about the grove itself. It almost seems to morph and mutate from one color to the next and back over again, all the way up through this garment that he's wearing. Outside of that, he has basically just, a pack on his back, again, with provisions. He's got his quiver around his waist and his bow slung over one of his shoulders.
Cal, where was the first tree to turn, I guess? Do you know, have your clan or folks, have they isolated the first tree to have this change happen within it?
Yes, we have found it started in a particular spot, and we have tried to forgive me, I'm trying to remember the word she used. The priestess has tried to quarantine it to make sure that it does not spread or does not affect the other trees. So far, we have only seen the damage in this one area, but it's also in the heart of our grove. It is not too far away from basically our temple and our community home, which is the concerning part. It'd be one thing if it were on the outskirts of the grove, but this is dead center.
Has anyone other than the priestess gone through the quarantine zone, or has it only been the priestess?
She and her maidens have been tending to that section of the forest because they are trained to help her. But to be safe, they are not trying to get everyone involved for fear because of the priestess now growing ill. They don't want it to affect the others.
So the others have not gone ill.
So far, not the maidens, but she has also not let them do the rituals with her. She's insisted it be
Okay.
hers.
Admittedly, I may not know much about this god in particular, but I do know enough about the ways of magic and the divine to know that if the magic itself has become corrupted, that may explain the sickness the priestess is experiencing. But this whole forest, from what I understand, is magic. It would take... I don't even know what it would take to corrupt something on this level. It is beyond me.
Well,
This is
hold
why
on.
we all...
Is there any oral or recorded history of something like this happening before?
We have had situations where, every so often, perhaps, we have gotten a chieftain or a priestess who maybe have not served their people as they should have, and the forest made it known it was not happy, but matters were taken care of, or perhaps it was just an issue of rituals not having been done properly and making amends, and everything seemed to have fixed itself within a few weeks. This has been going on for a month now, and it is only getting worse.
So, has there been any changes in your culture lately? Any major changes that have happened in your community?
We have people stocking for winter, making sure there will be enough food should things take a turn. The men are out hunting more and trying to make sure we have provisions. We normally don't have to worry about that at all. We always have an abundance. But now we worry, now we prepare, now we gather. We even have a few of our hunters out working with others from different areas to see if we can get further supplies should we need them, if this cannot be figured out in time. That is something we have never done before.
How much of your structure works around reverence for elders? And I mean, center of a forest or a grove, usually that's your elder trees as well, correct?
The elders are the most important support system to our chieftain and our priestess. We have 4
Right.
honored elders.
How was the health of your elders prior?
They have been fine. The only illness is falling upon the priestess herself. But they are concerned.
Is it at all possible the priestess is the one who has committed some transgression against the forest or against your kind? If, as you say, the forest has a habit of seeking retribution, perhaps this is what that is.
And in the distance, you hear the call of one of those Margreave forest cats. She is probably the hardest worker I know in our village and in our community. She has the respect of our entire clan. When it came time to vote for the position of priestess, her vote was a unanimous one. There has always been some discrepancy in terms of numbers, and some wanted this one, some wanted that one. It has not happened in a long time that the priestess has been brought in with a unanimous vote.
All right, who
She is
was the other person you could have voted for?
No one else was voted for.
Okay.
Everyone wanted her.
Presumably yourself included, yes? What about this priestess makes her so above and beyond reproach that there was no other candidate?
Because she does not treat everyone like she is above and beyond reproach. She treats everyone like they matter, like they are her equal, and she will listen to you and take into what you have to say. She has a respect for everyone, and she works hard for everyone and everything in the grove. She always has.
we thank you for answering our questions, and I think the best thing for us to do is get to the heart of the matter, figure out where the trees are changing, speak to the priestess. What was the priestess's name?
Your name is Gypsophilia.
So, I think if we ask Gypsophilia and make some investigations of our own, we might be able to at least pry some more new information out to figure out what's the center of this.
Quite frankly, that is what we look for. I am happy to keep answering whatever questions you might have. Trust me, we are asking the same questions of ourselves. We are hoping that eyes from the outside may be able to help us see what we cannot see. Perhaps we are too close to the problem. Perhaps we are not picking up on something. We only hope that you can help us when the time comes.
I think
And he'll look
perhaps
to
it
you.
would be prudent to question the handmaidens as well. Ideally separately. It's possible that perhaps the corruption we are looking for is more literal than expected.
He'll raise his eyebrows. To be quite honest, that is not something that was considered.
Perhaps it
you
is
are
something
coming
that
up
should have been.
Perhaps it is something that because we are close to one another, we did not consider it. It happens when you care for those around you. You like to give the benefit of the doubt. Again, we are seeking help. This is not something we normally do. And he's going to narrow his eyes at you, Maurice. Especially from those who are not of a natural existence.
Maurice will offer a slight bow and nothing else in return.
He's going to turn his back on you and make a sound of disgust, and he's just going to start walking. We need to pick up the pace if we are going to get to where I'm hoping we can set up camp for the night.
I'm going to jog beside him and say, well,
okay.
You know, some people think Forever Autumn isn't natural either, so maybe we can learn from each other. And, yeah, we'll continue with the pace.
Okay. So he's actually going to become very quiet now at this point and just keep on a very decided path, making sure you're all keeping up with him, but he's also not going to make an effort to go at a slower pace. He's keeping up more with his own. And you will get to a point where the sun is starting to set and you see twilight's not too far away. And you come upon this opening in the forest where it's not that it's fully exposed to the night sky or anything like that, but it's thinned out. It's a more leveled area where you can easily set up camp for the night and get yourselves something to eat and grow comfortable. And Cal will help you get established. Once again, he's become extremely taciturn. And he's doing what needs to be done to keep you comfortable. He's doing what needs to be done to get everyone settled. But he's not as talkative as he was before. And he will make sure that everything is fine by the time nightfall comes. Slain, you have Noname, who has been riding upon your shoulder, providing a little bit more light as it gets darker and darker. And he will look at you all before he goes into his little tent. I will wake you all in the morning as soon as the sun is rising. Make sure you get some sleep tonight. It is a long journey tomorrow. And he'll go into his tent and sort of flip the cover closed.
I'm going to just poke my head into his tent. Hey, Cal, I didn't mean to be too aggressive earlier. Here's some dessert on me. I'll pull out one of the peaches that Peach gave me and toss it over to him and walk back out of the tent.
Okay, he'll catch it, and he sort of has this non-discernible expression on his face, but he is looking at the peach as you leave. And so we will leave it where you've all sort of had your time to sort of regroup, get into your tents and sleep, and luckily for you, it is a very peaceful slumber. It is undisturbed. There are no vivid dreams. There are no flashbacks or anything like that. And we will leave our group slumbering deeply and peacefully. And we will return next Sunday as they continue on to the Grove of Eternal Autumn. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us tonight. It's so good to share this time with you all. I have such a great time, and I love how you guys are all interacting with one another. It's just fantastic. You folks are so talented. So I'm going to go the opposite direction to do our goodbyes. Let's hear about the part you like the most and where we can find you. And if you've got any project or such going on, make sure you plug it now. So we will start first with our lovely metal man, Jesse.
My name is Jesse. You can find me on Twitter at Jesse Neon, occasionally on Twitch, Dungeons and Dragons. Not as much as these days. I've been working a lot on my book, which is going to be out super soon, and I will be able to plug it like crazy eventually. Soon it's available on Amazon and all that fun jazz. My favorite part, for sure, is Slane low-key trying to downplay that this chicken is here for a sacrifice. At this point of pig Latin in front of the chicken, and then no one else picking up on it, and then just turning into this awkward thing for poor, anxious Slane, and that was just great.
That was rich. I love that part. All right, wonderful. Thank you so much. Let's move on to Kai.
Hey, I'm Kai, Stonefly_Kai on Twitch and Twitter and Instagram. Oh my gosh. And you can just catch what I'm doing on there. My favorite part tonight was Drunk Slane. I enjoyed that. And then, of course, the moment with Gervain kind of going about our backstories was good too. So tonight was fun.
Yeah, that was well done. All right, we're up to you, Jim.
Oh wow! No projects or anything other than we're still over on YouTube. Am I muted? No, I'm not. There we go. I think probably my favorite portion tonight. I'm not sure if it was in our backstage or on the stream chat, but Jesse was like, "Are we fighting a vampire?" Like the. You know, did we walk over and step into something huge? Was like about 5 minutes. Was like, oh, so I like that feeling of getting in over your head, and yeah, fun times. Yeah, it's good.
All right, moving up to Torn Pixie then.
Hi, I'm Twin Pixie. You can find me at Twin Pixie Twitch on Twitter and Instagram. I also run a podcast, RPG Unlimited. We're on a short hiatus, but you can find it on Anchor. Favorite part? There was a lot. There's a lot. The backstory stuff was really, really neat. And then Peach, just Peach in general. Peach as well. Peach is a peach.
Peach is a peach. Peach is an adorable peach. All right, great. Thank you so much. And wrapping it up finally, Jesse. Or not Jesse. Reverse. Michael. Your turn,
okay,
Michael.
yeah, me. Okay, so yeah, you can find me on Michael Kritz on Twitter and on Instagram for projects. I don't have any projects. However, if you folks out there have a podcast and want someone to speak about almost anything, I know many things about many different things, so just get my perspective on it. So if y'all are out there, I'm here. And my favorite moment of the night was my, kind of doing a mano-y-mano backstory with Zira. I've never done that before. Man, I was like very nervous. I had to like ride that ride, and the improv on that is kind of scary, but got through it. It was really cool to kind of bounce stuff off with someone else and see how our backstories might kind of align or have some mirroring. So that was great.
Awesome. Yeah, oh my gosh, I had so much fun tonight, and I've got to say the backstory explorations, definitely between the two of you, you both did a beautiful job with that. I'm sitting there and I'm just smiling. I'm like, okay, proud DM. I don't have to say a thing. They're just off and running with it. It was wonderful. But I also liked seeing how you were each reacting to little bits of your backstories getting exposed with the beginning battle, because those suckers definitely have a fun element to them. So It was a great night tonight. I cannot wait to do some more with you next week and see what you end up doing in this new grove. And for those of you watching, please make sure to join us again, 8 p.m. on Sunday, back at this channel. I look forward to seeing you all there. I couldn't have the chat open tonight for some reason. It was getting too laggy on my end, unfortunately. But hopefully next week I can see what you're all chattering about next time. So for now, have a fantastic week. Take care, everyone, and we will see you in a week's time. Bye, everybody.
Die in your sleep.